Hello. You talked about capitalism as if it was some great evil, and it's really not. I'm a fan of socialism as well, but capitalism is what works on the scales that human population has risen to. In a matter of economic policies, people fail to recognize one critical factor: population. Who is in the system? It has to do with population, and it has to do with the amount of resources. We do not have enough resources to pay for everyone's need. This is a great evil of capitalism. But this is why capitalism works. Proponents of capitalism need to face this, not because capitalism is wrong. It could be seen as a necessary evil for now, but there is an evil at the core of capitalism. People need to work, or they will die. Not just a matter of people working for. If you don't produce something for other people, work, you will not get fed. You will not get the resources you need. Now, some people might say, well, you can still get resources you need. The resources are heavily guarded within the system. So I can understand why some people would see it as very repressive. You can't just build your own house in America, in most places. You can't just go out and work hard and build it, escape from the societal pressures, and try and make it on your own. You can't. Society also has a grip on all the resources it has. So that's why it may seem oppressive. And in a sense, it is. Because the ultimate evil is that if you do not work, you don't get food. But that also goes to a higher extent. There are only so many resources. Whereas some people are gaining resources just to survive. Some people are gaining resources so that they can become rich. And this is why people see the rich as evil. Some people see the rich as evil in capitalism, because there's a limited number of resources, and the resources that these people got rich upon could have been used to save lives, to feed people. Ultimately, though, this distribution of resources is based upon efforts, shady as some of them may be. As shady as some of these efforts may be, it's based upon efforts. And sad as it is for me to admit it, this seems to be the fairest way to decide who lives and who dies in our society. Because people don't recognize it. They want to turn their face away from it. But capitalism ultimately is a way to decide who lives and who dies. It would be something that would be faced in a socialistic model as we are all going to die together, or something similar to that, unless someone decided to go against that. But people at our present population, people are going to have to die. That's not something that we can do to... There's not very much we can do to get rid of that. We don't have enough resources for our population. And we haven't equated population in our calculations. In a sense, some matters of the more deceptive parts of capitalism are to blame for this. Some of the rich would like to create the disposable human, the person who can be just tossed aside when they would like to turn people into a resource themselves. But people shouldn't be used as disposable tools. They're not disposable. At the same time, socialism doesn't work on a grander scale. It can't. It was designed for smaller scales. It's beautiful when it works in smaller scales. It's like a family, a societal family, which is the idea behind it. But the human mind can't be taxed to the degree of thinking of a societal family on such a huge scope. America would have to be broken not just into states, even smaller. For most really large states, it would have to be broken up for a socialistic system to work. It wouldn't be the United States of America. It would have to be divided up. And that's not going to happen as more beautiful in some senses. That may seem in some senses. But even that is not going to be a long-term solution. Capitalism and socialism and communism and any other economic ism is going to fail unless we curb our population. There are not enough resources in the world for the growing population. No system of spreading those resources is going to take account for that. No system of distribution of these resources will fix this problem. People simply need to people simply need to stop growing in population in their countries. And that's a hard thing to do. How can you tell someone that you want to take away their right to have a child? How do you tell someone that them having a child, something that people see as their natural right, is not so? That for the sake of society, they need to not have a child. Especially when you have biological drives to have a child backing their right up. That doesn't seem to be an ethical solution to this problem. And there won't be an ethical solution to this problem unless capitalism takes its course and crashes and burns, as well as socialism, all the systems crashing and burning, and then people dying because of lack of resources.